The first thing I remember was the light, blinding, white, and humming like a living thing. One moment, I was driving home on an empty stretch of highway outside Denver. The next, I was weightless, my truck gone, the world replaced by a metallic chamber that seemed to breathe. When I woke again, I wasn't sure if I was dreaming. My arms and legs were bound to a smooth, cold surface. A faint blue mist filled the air, smelling faintly of ozone and rain. Then I saw her. She wasn't human. Her skin shimmered silver under the strange lights, like moonlight trapped in motion. Her eyes were enormous, violet with streaks of gold running through them. A series of faint, bioluminescent markings ran down her temples and across her neck like constellations. She wasn't terrifying, though. She was beautiful, and she looked just as shocked as I felt. "Human," she said softly, her voice like water over glass. "You were not supposed to wake yet." "Yeah," I rasped, my throat dry. "You weren't supposed to kidnap me either." Her gaze flickered, uncertain. "You would not have come willingly. That's usually how kidnapping works." There was a pause, awkward, thick with confusion and something like guilt. Then she pressed her hand against a floating panel, and the restraints around my wrists hissed open. I sat up slowly, rubbing my sore wrists, glancing around at the alien room, curved walls, pulsing veins of light, and a view beyond a transparent panel that made my heart skip. Earth. Small, distant blue, hanging in the void. "Okay," I said, my voice barely a whisper. "You took me off my planet." She tilted her head. "Yes." "Why?" Her golden eyes met mine, and she said something I didn't expect. "Because you're dying." Middle. It took a while before I understood what she meant. Her name was Lyra, and she belonged to a species called the Vathar, explorers and guardians, she said, who monitored emerging civilizations for potential extinction events. Apparently, Earth had been sending signals into deep space for decades. Some had reached them. The Vathar observed us quietly, our wars, pollution, and experiments with weapons we barely understood. And now, she said, we were close to triggering something catastrophic. Human science plays with things it does not comprehend, she told me. You approach the event horizon of destruction, and your people do not even see it. I frowned. So, what? You abducted me to warn humanity. She hesitated. No. I took you because you created it. That hit like a punch. Lyra explained that a signal pulse, designed for deep space communication, had been detected near one of Earth's new orbital research stations, a pulse that accidentally resonated with dark matter patterns the Vathar monitored. It was my signal. My project. I'd led a team developing quantum harmonics communication, a system meant to transmit across light years instantly. We'd thought it harmless. Apparently it wasn't. You are the origin, she said quietly. If I returned to my command, they would end your world before it endangered others. My chest went cold. So you're saying they'd wipe out Earth? Yes. A containment measure. I stared at her in disbelief. She stood there, calm and sad, like she'd already accepted that outcome. Then I realized she'd gone against her orders by taking me. You risked your life, I said. Your people will come for you. Her eyes darkened. They already are. We spent what felt like days aboard her ship, hiding, moving through dark regions of space, avoiding patrol signals that shimmered like ghosts in the distance. Lyra barely slept. She spent her time adjusting coordinates, watching scanners, and occasionally glancing at me like she was weighing her choices. Once, during a rare quiet hour, I asked, "Why me, Lyra? Why take me at all if it puts you in danger?" She looked up from the console, her voice trembling slightly. "Because you didn't mean harm." I watched your transmissions. I studied your face, your words. You called it bridging the silence between stars. You believed in connection, not destruction. She paused, meeting my gaze. I wanted to believe in that too. It hit me then. She hadn't just saved me. She believed there was still hope in humanity, even when her kind didn't. But the Vathar weren't fools. They'd eventually track her ship. On the fourth day, alarms screamed through the hull. Lyra cursed in her language, pressing her hand to a glowing console as the stars outside warped. "They've found us," she hissed. "Hold on." The ship shook violently as a beam of white energy lanced past, slicing through the void. My seat restraints locked automatically. I could see another vessel in pursuit, massive, winged, and gleaming with gold light. "That's your people, right?" I yelled over the noise. "Yes," she said, her voice shaking. "They will not miss again." Then she did something insane. She turned the ship toward the beam. "What are you doing?" "Buying time." We shot through the fire like a comet, alarms blaring, lights exploding overhead. When the blinding white cleared, we weren't in normal space anymore. Everything outside shimmered, distorted like liquid glass. She jumped through a collapsing wormhole, something even her own kind avoided. I stared at her, stunned. "You're out of your mind." She smiled faintly. "I know." We drifted in silence for hours after that, maybe longer. Space outside was wrong, fractal, beautiful. Lyra explained we were in a ghost sector, a fragment between universes. Time didn't work the same here. Her ship was damaged, power failing. She sat beside me, her voice quiet. "If they find us here, I will be executed for treason." "You erased." "Then why do this?" I asked. "Why not let them destroy Earth? Why not follow orders?" Her violet eyes softened. "Because I looked into your memories." I froze. "You what?" "When I brought you aboard, I had to stabilize your mind through neural sync. I saw fragments, your mother's hands, your laughter as a child, the way you stayed behind after storms to help strangers you didn't know. Humans are flawed, but you care. That emotion. That stubbornness. We've forgotten that." She took a breath. "And I wanted to remember." The silence between us stretched, heavy with emotion neither of us knew how to name. She wasn't my captor anymore. She was something else. Someone caught between duty and compassion. Then, softly, she said, "There may be one way to stop them, but it will cost us both." Ending. Her plan was insane, but it was the only one we had. If she could merge her ship's data with my neural imprint, she could send a truth pulse back through the wormhole, proof that the signal was an accident, that humanity wasn't a threat. But the process would overload her neural link. It could kill her. I argued. I begged. But she smiled that same quiet, beautiful smile. "This is my choice, human. Let me make it." We connected the neural nodes, a crown of glowing light around our heads. The air filled with a low hum as the systems charged. I could feel her thoughts, sharp, brilliant, filled with colors and sounds no human brain could process. She could feel mine too, the chaos, the fear, the love for a world she'd only seen from orbit. "It's beautiful," she whispered in my mind. "Your world. So loud, so alive." Her voice trembled. "Don't forget me." Then the light consumed everything. When I woke, I was lying on a forest floor. Trees. Wind. The smell of pine. Earth. I was home. For a moment, I thought I'd imagined it all. The abduction. The ship, Lyra. But then I saw something embedded in the dirt beside me. A small crystalline shard glowing faintly violet. Her memory core. I picked it up, holding it against my chest. "You did it," I whispered. You actually did it. In the months that followed, strange things happened. The orbital station project, the one that sent the dangerous pulse, was suddenly declassified and dismantled. International space agencies announced new, peaceful exploration treaties. Scientists across the world began receiving anonymous transmissions, subtle data patterns in deep space static that led to safer, cleaner energy fields. And every night, when I looked up at the stars, I sometimes saw a flicker of violet shimmer, almost like a heartbeat. Maybe it was nothing. Or maybe somewhere out there, Lyra was still watching. Epilogue. 2 years later, I returned to the same stretch of highway where it had all begun. As I stood there, looking at the night sky, a voice, soft, familiar, echoed behind me. Your species still amazes me. I turned. There she was, faint, shimmering, half-transparent, like starlight given form. Lyra, my voice broke. You're alive. Not in the way you knew me, she said gently. My body is gone, but my essence lingers. I wanted to see you one last time. I swallowed hard. Why? Her smile was sad and radiant. To tell you that your world endures, because one human believed in connection over fear. And then she stepped closer, her hand brushing mine, a flicker of warmth, like sunlight through glass. Goodbye, Daniel. Goodbye, Lyra. She faded into the air, a shimmer of violet light that rose toward the stars. And I stood there, heart heavy but full, knowing that somewhere in the endless dark, a part of her, and what she believed in, would live forever.